All right, what I have is the DJI Mini 4K just released, and it is their answer to the budget drone for people on a tight budget but want to get 4K for a quality drone. So here it is, the ride from the Mini 2 and the Mini 2 SC, and it has a 4K camera with a gimbal for $299. So DJI is that far ahead of the game that they just repackaged their drone, and it's actually pretty compelling for a lot of people. Competes with the Potensic Atom. So to turn it on, you press it twice, and the best way to use these drones, because you have the remote controller with no screen, is to just use one of your old phones, and that will get you semi-permanent with a screen. And whatever you see on the screen is the same as what you see on this phone, is the same as what you see on the very high-end screen. So right here, as you turn it on, it connects. That's what the camera sees, and it says take off with caution, no GPS, and it is gathering GPS signal right here. 15 satellites, and join the nearby hotspot. No, don't do that. So now GPS is acquired, and it says home point has been updated to where it is. Home point is very important because that's where it's gonna go when you tell it to go home, when it runs out of battery, when it loses signal. Okay, so right here is the speed, the altitude. Right here is the battery. We have 98% battery, even though I just pulled it off the charger. And it'll tell you how much runtime you have as you get flying. So all the power of the DJI $1,000, $3,000 drones on the control option is right here. And we are in photography mode, so we are gonna go into video mode and start shooting video, and we're gonna take off. The wind is pretty high, maybe 10 to 12 miles an hour. Look at those birds, those crows. So we'll test the sound, the speed, the wind ability, and let's go to normal mode. And right here, we are ready to take off. All you need to do is press this guy and a long press on takeoff. Have a good flight. All right, so that is the preset height of all DJI drones. When they take off, they like to be at this height. And what you're looking for right now, this is actually how I test a lot of drones, is how is the hover? How is it withstand? How is it staying in place? How is it reacting to the wind? You know, is it able to keep its position? Is it able to keep its altitude? Okay. Now the second test is the rotation test. So when we turn, is it gonna keep its position? All right, so definitely pivoting well. The wind is trying to blow it that way, and it fought it. It came back to where it was. So very good. Elevation too is very good. The other thing is, how is the noise? It's a little noisier than the Mini 3 Pro or the Mini 4 Pro, but it's a little guy with a lot of power. It weighs under 250 grams, about 241 grams. And now I'm gonna start flying it. How is the speed? This is in normal mode. So mind you, this drone has no obstacle sensing at all. So you have to be a lot more careful. Gives me the option to land or return to home. So let's say return to home. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna elevate. What's happening is it's returning to home at the default altitude of 100 meters, which is very high. So we suggest you adjust it to something more normal, like 25 meters. So right there, it was just to the right of the bag and my carrying case. And sure enough, should I even touch the bag? Oh man, that is a nice one. That is a nice one. Okay, so that is my first ever flight on this guy. And now my return to home will be better. So now, so I had a 5-minute flight, I know from the video. And what I'll do now is I will take some photos and video. So let me go up. And it's a big gust of wind, but it's fighting it. So it's saying 31 minutes of flight, but the more windy it is, the more it loses flight time. And the reason is it's fighting it, using power to be stable. So right there, this is normal mode. I'm gonna do a flyby. And it's about 13 miles an hour. And let me go to cinematic mode. Cinematic mode affects stop speed as well as turning speed. As you can see, it's not turning so fast because turning is very harsh on the video. It makes it abrupt. So right there, it's about 8 miles an hour on cinematic mode. And finally, we are gonna go to sport mode with this flick of a switch, and we go lower. And it's very sporty. And mind you, you gotta mind your stopping distance in sport mode. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go up in the sky and take a bunch of photos so you can see the 4K quality of this guy. So right there, do a little rotation. So 4K at 30 frames per second is what we're dealing with. And right here, against the sun, the dynamic range is not super high, and there's not a lot of raw formats, no D-Log format or any of that, so it's more basic. So what I'm gonna do next is I'll take some photos. Point down. So here, it's a loud little guy. So a droney will go straight out, and oh, I'm the subject, so the camera is gonna keep pointing at me. So let's try it. And then we say start. Oh, there we go. So it's backing up, backing up. And you can see the effect. And what's really cool about the droney is it also works on post-editing video. You can reverse it. Let's just do a rocket. Start. So there it is. It should shoot up. Hey. Hi. And then one thing I'd like to do is see the camera right there. Or the battery life. The battery life, 0 minutes to return to home, 14 minutes until forced landing. So I'm gonna do a little speed run, and it is going 13 meters per second. And then this way, (14 meters per second). So that shows you how fast this guy is. So it's a cool little drone. So right here, it says low battery, return to home. So it's really cool here. What's happening is it gives you an audible signal saying return to home. Or otherwise we're gonna do it for you. So it's giving it to me with 1 minute 36 left. So we'll just ignore it. As I go high, oh, it dropped down to 10 seconds. Not just because I used it elevating, but it says, oh, you're getting farther. All right, so there you go. And even though it's going to return to home, it still has 3 minutes and 30 seconds of battery left. And now it gives me a chance to cancel or confirm the return to home. So 3 seconds, it's going to confirm. So right there, returning to home. Why don't we take a video while we're doing that? It got pretty high, 25 meters. And then it was to the right of that bag, right? So we'll see if it still has its location. Okay, so now it's to the left of the bag, which is not bad. So there you go, $299, and you get this kind of performance. It's a lot smaller in footprint than the Mini 3 or the Mini 4 Pro, and the gimbal, the reach is not as crazy as the others, and it can't go vertical. But man, for a basic drone that takes great video, something to learn on, something good for the budget, pretty darn good.